we have a short panel discussion with 4 special guests. The idea is to get to know a little bit more about the book from an external perspective. Let me introduce our panelists one by one. First up, Mr. George Verghese, a mining engineer by profession, globetrotter on work, and more importantly, the backbone of today's event. Please come up on stage, sir. Next up, Mrs. Chitra Rammurthy, and has been associated with Miss Kala for over 3 decades. Come, ma'am. Someone very dear to me, Dr. Ravi Kudva, a doctor by profession and the proud husband of the author. And finally, Mrs. Deepa Basrur, a teacher by profession. She shares the same alma mater with the author and was her colleague in school. Come, ma'am. So how this will work is, I'll just ask one question at a time, and each of them will give you an answer, not me. So let's start with the first question. So what, according to you, is the best thing about this book that Ms. Kala has written, My Life Hack?
The book itself is a premier one. So I can justify why it is premier. The author Kala, in the last about 6 decades, her experience during these many years, she has thought about these experiences and then converted that into, and finally she's brought it into the book. Now, this is very important because this book has got 3 sections. One, starting with the first is the musings, the reflections of what she remembers of her past. The second is about the lessons. And the third is non-negotiables. So she divided this book into 3 sections so that it makes easy for the reader to follow and understand.
That's nice.
Pardon?
Oh no, that's someone else outside. Yeah.
I thought I already got a question from the audience. So she's converted the experience here to knowledge, and that knowledge the wisdom she's gained from here, she has put it into the book. So what happens is, this book gives information across the ages, cuts across ages, gender, and the best part of it is, if you ask, since you asked me the best thing, I would pick up one chapter in this book, which is zipping through life. So, and there's a very catchy phrase in this, unplug to recharge. Usually we plug to recharge, but here the author mentions unplug to recharge. So when you read through the chapter, we understand, and many of us, including me, run in life. Most of the time we are busy running to be successful in life, successful in a career. While doing so, we are forgetting or ignoring the other important aspects of life. Because the success in career becomes, we give importance more, we are neglecting other areas. And what are the other areas? Or what importance that we need to give? In the book, what I could understand, she's given importance to 3 areas. One is health, of course, is very important. Then finance, that is also important. The third, she is given importance to relationship. Relationship means family and friends. And another important thing what I see here is that she conveys that although that these 3 parameters that she has selected should be given equal importance. That means each should get 33.3% to add up to 100%. You cannot give importance to career at 50% and then 25% to the other 2. So that is very important, I felt.
That's a
And-
really interesting way to kind of summarize the book for all of us. So thank you for that, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to add
Sure.
a little bit
Sure.
more.
Sorry, I thought you were done.
Many of us, including me, I said, run too fast. And when you're running too fast, we don't realize that the fast is so fast that we get to 6 feet under earlier. So that should not be the case. Our life, she mentions here, should be wholesome, meaningful, and a wonderful life. And so when we have these three parameters with us, then only we have a wonderful and wholesome life. Thank you.
According to me, those who have been to Kala's place will definitely agree with me. She'll say just an informal lunch, but you'll see a huge spread of delicious items on the table with a mild touch of Konkani taste. Here in this book also, she has a huge spread of emotions, but the one which I pick is a sense of humor. And if I can highlight one incident, I'm sure Ravi will, even now he'll have the special emotion, where they were stranded in the outskirts of Mangalore, but Madam takes a walk to go to the nearby nursery to buy her favorite shoe flowers of a very rare colors, crimson and the peach color, and even today she smiles at it. And we always recall that incident. So that's the best thing about her book, the sense of humor. Thank you.
What I liked about the book is it is lucidly explained what is needed in a person's life. And Kala has shown that there is no age to pursue your dreams and to come out of your comfort zone. As a matter of fact, she started delving headlong into finance when she was in her 50s and decided to write this book as she was touching 60. And the best thing, what I like, the idea and the motive behind this book is to spread awareness about the fundamental facts or things that matter in life.
Good morning to one and all. This book, I personally like this book very much because this book offers a holistic approach to life, physical, emotional, social, and also financial well-being. I feel the best part about the book is that it is a complete package and will appeal to across all ages. I'm sure all age groups will enjoy reading this book as much as I have enjoyed. Thank you.
I'd like to ask is, what is the one thing you've learned from the book that you intend to implement in your life?
Like I earlier mentioned, the book has 3 sections. I have taken a chapter in the non-negotiables section, which is the black box. Now, when we use the word black box, I think we all can imagine a crash airplane and authorities rushing to rescue people and a different set of authorities trying to get hold of the black box, which is vital because that contains vital information as regards the aircraft's crash or the last moments what happened on the plane. Here also, the black box is what the author means is a place, a secure and safe place where each individual keeps their documents in one location. For example, your passport, your PAN, your insurance papers, your health papers, your medical records, your property papers, your living will, and also your will. A legal will. No, there's something called living will as well, because that was new to me. If you'd like, I can tell something about living will also. But
The living will, even the notary didn't know what it was. When we went to notarize, he said, what is this?
yeah, okay,
So he said, oh, this is new, I think we need to do it.
yeah. So we'll just come to living will, but before that, these documents all have to be in one place so that the user can access it at any point of time. Not only that, more importantly, at a later stage, when an individual passes away, the family members are not put into trouble because they know where the documents are and where it is placed. So they don't have to run pillar to post after the passing away of that person. Now the living will, since that came up and which was new to me as well, and I guess it's new to some of us in the audience, is that user or the person has to write a will about what his last stages would be like, what he would like, because there will be a situation when the person will not be able to communicate. So what you would like, for example, would you like to be in ICU, would you like to have the oxygen on, or whatever it is, that's a living will during his life on earth. And when he is not able to communicate, this living will come into place. Correct? Correct. And the other will we already know, that also has to be registered and kept in place so that the family members and others don't get into trouble subsequently.
No, what happens is, especially if the person is quite serious, the doctors will brainwash the patient's relatives, put him in the ICU, put him on the ventilator.
Okay.
Now, that decision
Yeah.
can be taken only by the family members. Whether her or his father or mother should be on the ventilator or not. But at the time of this living will, if you see, she would have written, don't do any heroic procedures because I've crossed that age, it's time for me to go. All my commitment.
So is that a registered one, or it's just a... Really? That is also not registered one. No.
So the children are not in a fix.
Okay.
They don't have to feel guilty.
They don't have, some children will feel guilty. Oh, what do I do? Because what the ICU charges are, it's quite expensive.
Yeah.
So you take a decision. The children, yes, parents don't want it anymore.
So this was from the non-negotiable section.
Non-negotiable.
So just like the practical case of the black box, there's a lot of other very practical advice about finances and health insurance and all these other things that Kalmave felt like people absolutely should know, and it's not negotiable that you know about it. Hence, it's in the non-negotiable section. It's a beautiful part, just like everything else in the book.
Yeah, thank you.
And for me, one thing I would like to remind myself is, after all, we have worked for, I think, more than almost 3 decades in Cluny Convent, where our prayer was, your will be done. That means I have to accept his will. So here in her book also, we should learn to accept with the limitations of ours as well as our dear ones. And we should also see the positive side of that, how we can make use of it. And when you go through the book, you will realize that particular line, why I'm saying is, it's about my Neha, which is there in one chapter. Find out for yourself.
What I liked all the chapters, but the one which stayed with me was the chapter Walking the Talk. This is all about something called integrity, which in today's world, very few people lack. And what happens is this road is hardly traversed, so it's not crowded at all. So I like that the best.
Okay.
For me, I could relate to bridal fury because I just got my daughter married recently. And yes, so when you read that chapter, you will actually get to know about it. And today's generation want to take part in all the marriage functions, all the decisions. And sometimes there's a tussle between the parents and the children. But of course, I must agree that the end result is always fabulous. Because the children, of course, are very tech savvy and much more forward. And sometimes I feel that even we should take some advice from our children. So that is what I experienced, and I absolutely loved this chapter. Thank you.
Let's kind of close this out with one kind of takeaway that each of you has had from the book, that little nugget that you intend to take forward and that you could share with the audience for us. Like the one key lesson, according to you, that everyone should kind of take away from the book and that stands out.
Me most was a chapter titled Miss India Finalist. No, when this chapter titled Miss India, we imagine about the competition happening, but that's not the case here. It's neither about the she's not stressing on the competition, nor is she stressing on the finalist. But one of her students, who was a student, after several years grew up to be a fine young lady, and she was participating in the Miss India. She was finalist there, Miss India 2014. And when the author came to know that she's reaching that stage, there's a message she put to her, to the student. And that message is, I felt it was great. I'll read it out so that I don't misquote that message. It's a short one. What message she put to her was, we have taught our children enough to be proud of India, but now we need to teach our children to be those Indians India can be proud of. I felt that was a wonderful message she's given, not only to that fine young lady, but to all Indians here in India. India is, because India is moving, has moved from a developing country to somewhere to a developed nation, and slowly and soon we would be a superpower. At least that's our wish. I'm sure all Indians wish that. But for that, this message is so apt that to the parents and to the children, this is what they should have in mind, so that our goal of being a developed nation and then a superpower will happen. And this should go to all the parents and all the students, all children across India. Thank you.
Well, I'm always different, like the Maggie, hot and sweet. That's why I got so attracted to her Ulti Ganga, where she stresses about people who dare to do something which is different from what the society expects, but she stresses they are the trailblazers and they are the ones who create a new world with immense courage. So I love it.
For me, the best thing what I liked, which I would like to definitely follow, is moderation. I think moderation is the key to leading a wholesome life. I think that's one of the most important. Moderation in all aspects of life. I think I would go for that any day.
Nice.
Here, I would like to quote the introduction to chapter 97, People Pleasers, because I've been just doing that all the time. You are not required to put yourself on fire to keep others warm. I could relate to that, and this, I'm sure, will remind me to set boundaries for myself and stop people pleasing beyond my limitations. Thank you.
That was really illuminating. Thank you so much to all our panelists for this little peek into the book's essence. We can take our seats again. Thank you so much. Please give them a big round of applause.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.